Hey peeps, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drusilla Shay, if you don't know already. In today's video, we are going to be talking about black tie jewelry. Some of y'all have already watched my black tie videos, and if you haven't, go check them out. I have tips on what to wear to black tie events in the spring and summer, and what to wear to black tie events in the fall and the winter. But a comment recently caught my attention about how I didn't really spend much time focusing on jewelry, and I want to make sure that my videos are really helpful for you. I did not spend too much time on jewelry in those videos because jewelry is a absolute beast. There is so much to jewelry, so many nuances, so many things to consider. So I will try to put as much in this video as possible and make it as clear and helpful as possible. If you are interested in what kind of jewelry to wear to a black tie event, stay tuned, we're gonna get into it. When it comes to black tie events, the kind of jewelry that you want to buy or you want to wear is special occasion jewelry, or you can look up evening jewelry. Now this is jewelry that is definitely way more dressier than the everyday kind of jewelry. And just to caveat that the term evening jewelry does not mean that it can only be worn in the evening. If you have a daytime black tie event, an afternoon black tie event, you can still wear evening jewelry to those events, but they definitely do pop more in the low lighting in the evening and the nighttime. Now, a lot of times when we're talking about jewelry, people don't often pick their outfits around their jewelry unless you have some sort of statement piece that you've really been wanting to pull out and you're trying to like work your attire around that. But normally you already have your base outfit and you are trying to work your jewelry around that outfit, which means that when it comes to jewelry for black tie, you have to consider your attire. And something else that you have to consider is your hair. Usually people pick their hairstyle based off of their attire. So you still do even have to consider hairstyles when it comes to jewelry, because that is going to impact what kind of earrings you get, what kind of chain you get. It's a whole domino effect. As I mentioned, you want to work your jewelry off of your attire. If you have an evening gown that already has embellishments on them, something like pearls or rhinestones or sparkles, base your jewelry on the embellishments. So if your dress has pearls, that's the perfect time to pull out pearls. If your dress has silver rhinestones, that is the time to pull out your silver fine jewelry. You don't want them clashing. Now, if your dress does not have any embellishments, it's completely solid, there are no type of metals on there, you honestly just have a lot of freedom to just choose if you want to go gold, if you want to go silver, if you want to go rose gold. But if you want to wear pearls, just stay tuned because I will talk more about that later on in this video. Something else that you have to base your jewelry off of, which is incredibly important, is your neckline. When I say neckline, I mean the cut and the design of the neckline of your dress, of your attire. There are certain pieces of jewelry that work really well with certain necklines. If you have a dress, for example, that has an incredibly high neckline, then you can honestly forfeit even wearing a necklace because your neck area is already covered. You really don't need to add anything to this area. But with the absence of a necklace, that also gives you more room to be way more bold with your earrings. You can have some nice dangly chandelier earrings, something that just pops more since there is not much jewelry going on in the neck area. Now, if your neckline is high up, but it's not completely covering your neck, consider wearing collar jewelry. That's jewelry that's going to come up very high on your neck, essentially on your collar, and it's not going to come down very low. And so you want to wear something like that that doesn't drape down too much so that it's not going over your dress. It's something that can still be seen very well on your neck, and there's no clashing between that and your dress. Now, if you have a V-neck like what I am wearing right now, I would advise wearing a necklace that comes down in a V formation like what I'm wearing right now. Having a necklace like this complements a V neckline. There's just a nice flow in terms of the direction of the neckline and the necklace. But you're not limited to that. You can also wear something like a choker if you're feeling bold, if you feel like it's appropriate for the dress. If your neckline is coming down a little bit lower, you want to make sure that your necklace is also coming down a little bit lower. Now, if you're going strapless, which means that your neck is going to be completely bare, there is a lot of room to play. You can do a V type of necklace. You can do a collar necklace. You can do a choker if you wanted to. You can just run wild because at the end of the day, there's nothing on your neck. And whether you have a sweetheart neckline or a straight neckline, any of these would go because again, there's just so much room to cover on your neck that you can get away with anything. Now, something else that is a little bit fun to play with if you are wearing a strapless dress or strapless attire is shoulder jewelry. Now, I would only recommend this if the dress calls for it. If your dress is really, really plain and you're looking to make things a little bit more interesting and jazz things up. Again, it will be strapless, so there would be no straps getting in the way of that shoulder jewelry. If you are going to be wearing spaghetti straps, essentially the same thing applies as it would if you're wearing strapless, because spaghetti straps are very thin and they're not taking up much space in your neck, which means that there is going to be a lot of bare room and space in this upper area. So just make sure that your jewelry is high enough that it's not hitting your dress. You don't really want jewelry that's going to go over your dress or inside your dress. You want it to be seen. If you're going to be wearing a square neck, consider either a choker, a pendant necklace, or a collar necklace. If you are going to be wearing something asymmetrical like a one shoulder gown that is cutting diagonally across your neck, you can just decide to opt out of a necklace altogether. Again, if you opt out of a necklace, definitely go more bold with the earrings if that's your taste. If not, you can still keep it simple, but it does give you more room to play around in the ear area. Okay, let's talk about pearls real quick. When it comes to pearls, you don't wear them with just anything. Pearls have a very specific look. They're timeless. A lot of times they give off this vintage feel. So they don't always go with the modern type of dresses or the modern aesthetic. If you're wearing something with a bateau neckline, think about Audrey Hepburn, right? That was like a really popular thing that she wore. That is perfect with pearl earrings. Now, the reason why I didn't say a pearl necklace is because normally that neckline comes up higher on your neck. And so there is no real need to put on a necklace, but definitely putting on pearl earrings with something like that will look very classy. It will flow together because that bateau neckline does have a more vintage and classic look. You can also get away with pearls if you're wearing a strapless solid dress, something that's more on the plain side, but something that is just very classic and simple. Pearls in that case would be good on the neck, good on the ears, and especially if you're wearing some long gloves to complement the strapless design, go all out. Put on the pearl bracelet as well. And as I mentioned before, if your dress is already embellished with some type of pearls or beading, that would also be a good time to wear pearl jewelry. Okay, so now let's talk about jewelry size and ratio. The rule of thumb I usually go by is balance. If you have a large set of earrings, you don't want to do anything crazy on the neck. As a matter of fact, if I had really large earrings, I would forfeit the necklace altogether because they can't both be the star of the show. If you want to wear a larger necklace, go really small on the earrings. Again, they should not be competing. They should just be working really well together. At the end of the day, you also have to use discretion. When you are about to go to a black tie event, you always want to try on everything together before the big day. You don't want to be experimenting day of. And so try it out beforehand and see, if I wear large earrings and I forfeit the necklace, does it look a little bit too bare on the neck? Do I still need something a little bit thin? You know, you have to kind of like look at yourself in the mirror and gauge and see what you yourself are comfortable with. But there's just certain rules of thumbs that I go by and it has consistently worked for me. Again, balance. Speaking of balance, if you have an embellished dress, I'm talking about a dress that has beading or pearls or rhinestones or a dress that's really sparkly, your dress is the star of the show. You don't want to do too much with your jewelry. You do want to go more delicate and make sure you're not doing the most. Y'all remember how I said you still have to work your earrings around your hairstyle if you want to wear a specific hairstyle? Well, this is what I mean. If you are going to be wearing your hair out and down, your hair is going to be covering some of your face. You want to make sure that you wear earrings that are large enough to be seen. There are so many times when people wear earrings with their hair down that just cannot be seen. And in that case, it kind of just doesn't really make a difference, right? It doesn't add anything. It's almost like it's not there because the hair is fully covering it. So if your hair is going to be down, your ears are not really showing, you want to make sure that you wear something that has enough volume to be seen even through your hair. Now, I'm not saying you have to be extreme, but definitely make sure that you choose a style and a weight that is going to make a difference in your outfit, or else it will be like you're not wearing anything at all. Now, if you're going to be wearing an updo, you don't necessarily have to wear large earrings. That's not like a rule of thumb. But if you are, again, wearing an updo, and let's say you have a lot of neck space, you can go hard on your earring size. Chandelier, okay? Let's talk about bracelets and rings. Bracelets are not mandatory, but they still are important, especially depending on the style of your outfit. If you're the type of person who likes to stack jewelry on a normal basis, black tie is not the time to be pulling that out. You don't want to be doing too much. It takes away from the whole black tie aesthetic. Keep it to a minimum of 1 ring outside of your wedding ring if you have one. When it comes to bracelets, don't stack more than 2, and make sure that those 2 that you have on are thin. You don't want to make those areas of your hands and your fingers look really busy, because that doesn't give a very classy look. Again, bracelets are not mandatory, and especially if you're going to be wearing long sleeves, you can for sure forfeit the bracelet because it might not even be seen. However, if you are going to be wearing something like spaghetti straps or something that's strapless, that's going to be showing a lot of arms, and you don't have anything else going on in your arms or on your fingers, then definitely consider a bracelet. It just helps to tie the embellishments together. It helps to just bring more dressiness to different parts of your body. So it's not just going to be, you know, your face and your neck area, but it's also going to be your hand. Bracelets are still a really good thing to consider so that it doesn't start looking too plain. Especially if you have a solid dress that's going to be sleeveless, consider wearing a bracelet. Now, the same rule applies to bracelets as the other pieces of jewelry. Make sure that it goes well with your dress. Make sure that it goes well with your other pieces of jewelry. You don't want to be wearing a bracelet that clashes with your other jewelry. So again, if you're wearing silver on your earrings and your necklace, you want to be wearing silver bracelets. I also lean more toward delicate, thin bracelets for black tie. You can never really go wrong in that direction when it comes to black tie. If you are looking for something a little bit chunkier, something more like a cuff, you have to consider the style of your dress. If your dress is more on the plain side and it's more solid and you have a lot of arm showing, then you can get away with something a little bit more chunky. At the same time, this is a very delicate balance, because if your jewelry is very thin on the top, you don't want to go chunky on the bracelet because it's just going to look very off balance. Okay, so you kind of just want to keep the same vibes going all throughout. Let's circle back to rings. Again, it is not 100% necessary, but if you are not going to be wearing anything on your arms and your arms are going to be showing and bare, that's a nice opportunity to wear a cocktail ring, something that really stands out on your fingers, at least just so that something on your arm, finger, hand area looks dressy as well. It's not like it's going to make or break your outfit, but it definitely can add something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a cocktail ring, but it can still be some type of fashionable ring that, you know, coincides with the rest of your jewelry. A couple things that you probably want to avoid for black tie events is beaded jewelry. When I say beaded jewelry, I mean like the type that like you can go to a class and put beads on a little chain thing and make beaded jewelry, like that type of vibe. You don't really want to go for. I'll definitely have examples on the screen of what I'm talking about. That kind of jewelry always looks more casual. It does not have a dressy look. Last but not least, I hope y'all not tired, because like I said, jewelry is a beast. We're going to talk about hair jewelry. It is not that common to wear hair jewelry for a black tie event. You would see that very commonly with weddings, right? You'll see the bride wearing some type of hair jewelry, the bridesmaids also wearing some type of hair jewelry, but it is absolutely not necessary. It is nice when you have something extremely plain going on and you have that hair jewelry to kind of just like bring something interesting to your attire. But just know that hair jewelry can very much clash with the rest of your jewelry, especially if it is showing from the front view or from the side view. You want to be very considerate if you want to wear hair jewelry. If you're going to wear hair jewelry, keep the rest of your jewelry simple, small, dainty. Hair jewelry can be a little bit overwhelming if you also have on, you know, other big pieces of jewelry. You also want to make sure that the metals in your hair jewelry or the designs in your hair jewelry coincide with the rest of your jewelry. So again, if you have silver earrings, you want to make sure that your hair jewelry is silver. You don't want anything that is, you know, different tones going on. Alrighty, y'all. I hope I covered most of your questions or what you would be looking for in a video like this. But if I have not, please go ahead and meet me down in the comments. I will try to get back to all of you. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And you're already here, you thugged it through. So please go ahead and just seal the deal by pressing that red subscribe button. And while you're at it, please turn on that bell notification button so that anytime I post, you will be up to date. I appreciate you all. God bless you. And I will catch y'all in my next video next Sunday. Deuces.